thought about this interesting match concept to stretch out TV, to make it so fans are interested, and that creates suspense, drama, and also like shakes up things for the company and the roster, make things fresh, that kind of stuff. And the idea I came up with, um, it's going to happen 4 times a year after every one of the big pay-per-view events. The second Raw afterwards, I thought about this too because the first Raw afterwards is used for the big shock value who's going to come back. The second, slash Raw or SmackDown had this particular concept match. I'm going to get into exactly what's going to go on. And so, like the second one, let's be the second Raw or SmackDown. I think and Raw and SmackDown. Um, yeah, the concept I have has to do with the brands. So the next week's Raw, NXT, and SmackDown will have this particular match. And the week after, we'll have a variation of either the men or women's match. It could be a men's version of the match, and a women's version of the match, but it'll take place either like one will go first or the one will go second. It's up to like whatever the bookers want. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So this match I like to call barrier break. What does that mean? When you're in the WWE currently for the past, 10 plus years now, you are stuck essentially on Raw or SmackDown. This match concept will break the barriers of your particular brand so you can go on to any show that you choose until the next pay-per-view, the next big pay-per-view that comes up. So what that can do is, okay, the Money in the Bank is makes it so like uh, one time a year, a Raw or SmackDown talents, men and women can challenge for a title at any time, right? Well, this particular thing I'm thinking of, there are rules to this one as well. There's no BS like anytime, anywhere nonsense. There are rules to this kind of stuff. So Barrier Break will have men compete in one version. I thought about this also. I was hoping I can make it so there's a match that can happen with men and women without causing a bunch of stirs or whatever on the internet. But currently, it can't happen. It can't happen that way in WWE. Impact can do this, but they don't have multiple brands, so they can't do that. This is only for WWE because they have multiple brands, and this concept I have is only for multiple brands of a particular, wrestling event, a wrestling promotion. Like I said, I didn't get into the details yet on what this match actually is. I just told you the name, Barrier Break. Um, so what's going to happen in the end is that someone is going to get a hashtag Barrier Break ticket or BBT. The BBT will enable you to go to Raw, SmackDown, or NXT twice before the next big pay-per-view. And that means that anything can happen at any time. Like that. Any place, anytime, anybody can show up on a certain show. Now, what will that entail? That means that someone can show up on NXT and start a feud with someone that particular episode, and then the next time they show up or whatever, they can challenge for the title. If they win that title, they will stay on that brand until they lose that belt. Then they hashtag go back where they came from. Or this particular ticket can be used to start a feud with someone you have a grudge with, another brand, and you can start and finish it there. You can start on a random show and then end it at their next, event, like a backlash or a takeover or whatever. You can end it there twice before the next event there. And hey, who knows? Maybe that person might win it again and then start more trash with the other persons. So the amount of people that can do it, is two. Only two people have the ability to go on the shows twice before the next one. So it's going to be, let's just say, for example, let me give an example. Let's just say, for example, the very first inaugural Barrier Break event is won by, let's just say, Baron Corbin, right? Baron Corbin will have the ability to go on any show that he wants within the next pay-per-view. Let's just say he wants barrier break at the SummerSlam, right? He wins barrier break at the. I'll get to what the matches are, by the way. Barrier break after SummerSlam. Baron Corbin can then go on NXT and start a feud with Damian Priest over there. Get in his face on a random episode of NXT, and then the next takeover, Baron Corbin versus Damian Priest. Simple. Or it could be Baron Corbin versus Keith Lee. Or it could be Baron Corbin versus on Raw. It could be Baron Corbin versus Andrade if he feels like it, or Baron Corbin versus Rey Mysterio, whatever like that. It's whatever what the bookers want to come up with. So it could be one of those two things. So let's just say Sasha Banks wins the women's version of Barrier Break. She can challenge Candice LeRae in NXT, or she can challenge Asuka on Raw if she's not the champion or whatever. She can challenge Asuka on Raw if she feels like it. So it could be Asuka versus Charlotte at the next the next big event or whatever. She can do that, and that's it. And that's it before the next event. Everything else will go back to normal per se after it's exhausted. So that person has a challenge before the next big event. So that's the concept of the match. And after every big pay-per-view, which will make the pay-per-views even stronger and more appealing, because you never know who's going to show up there and compete in barrier break, that kind of stuff. So it'll make the big reviews more appealing that way. Also, the anticipation will build. You don't have to do the nonsense brand split nonsense. You could do it like that. So here's what barrier break, the match concept, is going to be about. Now, it's important to keep the viewers' minds engaged. So having like the same kind of match doesn't really work. The match types will be okay. Togo says, yeah, and GCW was on Saturday. Nice. I want to see GCW. I want to see GCW. Oh boy. I didn't watch New Japan. I didn't watch New Japan day 2. I will, obviously, but because day 1 was very entertaining. But I'm in the middle of watching NXT and AEW. I know what happened on AEW first half. I'm doing something new with myself. I'm watching 1 hour of either AEW or NXT, and then doing the first hour of the other show. So first hour 1 NXT, hour 1 AEW, hour 2 NXT, hour 2 AEW, like that one, to make it more diverse for myself. What was better? What was better? Hour 1 or hour 2, that kind of stuff. Just for myself, not going to put it on mine or whatever. But first of all, I think I like NXT's hour 1 a little bit more. NXT's hour 2, I'm watching NXT hour 2 right now. It's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun. I liked Keith Lee's comment about Candice LeRae, picking her up and saying that's the most action she's had in a while. Those good comments. Mia Yim beating that ass of Candice LeRae in the back. That was funny. I like William Regal popping up on the Tron. So yeah, NXT was really good in hour 2 so far. Poking the tires out of Damian Priest. I thought was funny as hell. I like some of those Escobar's character as well. He looks really cool. It's very dangerous. I like him as well. So like, yeah, it's looking good in NXT so far. I was very entertained by that. The match concept of barrier break. The match concept will be, like I said, to keep the viewers' minds engaged and not expecting the same thing all the time. The match concept will be random. Yeah, random. It'll be whatever the bookers want for this particular match that'll suit the wrestler's strengths, per se. So it can either be a 5-way match, a 4-way match, a 6-way match, a hardcore match, a ladder match, falls count anywhere with multiple referees. It can be a mini battle royale. It can be a parking lot brawl. It can be anything the bookers want it to be. And the person who stands tall at the end will have a hashtag barrier break ticket to be able to go to any brand that they want within the next big pay-per-view event. So if Charlotte wins, and she probably will, she can challenge in NXT to get her title back because currently under the actual WWE rules, Charlotte can't because she can't go to NXT. But with the barrier break ticket, she would be able to go to NXT and challenge to get her title back. Unless currently right now, unless the NXT champion, for some reason they can go anywhere they want, unless the NXT champion wants to come to Raw and then challenge, and then Charlotte wins it here and goes back over there. But that's not going to happen. So if you get the BBT, you can go to any brand you want twice before the next big event. It's just that simple. So anybody who wins this one can challenge and win a title before the next event there. It'll be cool. And Apollo Crews, whatever, he could be a double champion by challenging in NXT or whatever. There's a lot of possibilities with this particular method. And it'll create like hype because fans will be like who's going to show up when and where. You don't know when the winner of the BBT will show up anywhere. So I think that the concept will work out well. That's if they want to do something like that one. It doesn't work with GCW. It doesn't work with New Japan. It doesn't work with any. It only works in WWE because they have multiple brands to play with. So the winner can go to any brand that they want, and they're not stuck behind the barrier. And this will give you a chance to break through the glass.